real quick.
Okay, as soon as we're ready.
Okay, we're alive.
Okay, I'll officially call this meeting to order. And of our October 1st meeting of the Placer County Election Commission, I will note that all commissioners are in attendance and we have a quorum. Our first item of business would be our Pledge of Allegiance, and the never faltering Commissioner Price has provided an American flag for us yet again. Thank you for being so reliable. Anyone not muted at the moment? Amanda, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance,
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of
the
the
United
United
States
States of America and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
republic
for which it
which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty
liberty
justice.
and
and
justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Okay. And the next item of business is the approval of previous minutes. So even though she had less than 24-hour turnaround time, Betty, who is just as reliable as Amanda, had those ready for us. And I saw those came up in the email. I think I was able to, I did a quick review. And I don't think I have any changes except for I wanted to, what Betty put in the minutes was correct. However, I mistakenly, when I was talking about the Kevin Lilly v. Placer County Election Commission suit, I mistakenly said it was Jacksonville. He is actually a candidate for Sherwood City Council Ward 2, and it was William Michaels was the candidate who filed on 8/26 at the clerk's office, 8/26/20 at the clerk's office, saying that he was going to withdraw his candidacy. So the minutes were correct from what I said. However, I do want to just correct the record today that I said Jacksonville and I was incorrect. It was a Sherwood City Council position. And I do believe that he was living in Cabot was the allegation, that he wasn't actually living in Sherwood. So I think that part was correct, but it was Sherwood, not Jacksonville. So apologize to municipalities of Sherwood and Jacksonville. You are not the same places. I had it mixed up with a couple different things I was looking at that day. So I just wanted to correct that record. But like I said, Betty was perfect and spot on exactly what was said at the meeting as far as that goes. So thank you, Betty, for that. The mistake was mine, not Betty's, because she, the minutes reflected exactly what was said. So thank you, Betty. Okay, with all that, commissioners, any insertions, deletions, comments regarding the business?
I have a change under temporary polling location change orders on the first page. That should just reflect polling location change orders, but the meeting was not scheduled because we just wanted to update and add some language. The meeting was scheduled because the changes were, there were some errors on the polling location change orders on the document. It was missing some information. So.
And we couldn't correct that because we did not have a staff member present who could do that.
Correct.
So absolutely.
I just want to make sure that's noted.
Okay, anything else?
We had Jody. We did have
Yes.
Jody.
Hello. Yes, I am here.
To make sure that you were noted that you were there. Thank you, Betty.
Yes, sorry, forget to call.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion at this time.
I move to.
That's all I had. That's all I had.
I'm
Is that what
sorry.
you were-
Go ahead.
Star?
No, I had nothing. That's all I had.
Oh, okay. Well, then I move to accept the minutes of the September 30th meeting as amended with Chair Gomez's correction from Jacksonville to Sherwood, and then the addition of language stating that there were some errors that needed to be corrected on the polling location order, as mentioned by Commissioner Starr.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so November 3rd, 2020 general election, we have some polling location orders and our notice of election. So Amanda, you are here with you are present. I see you. Let's go ahead. I guess let's go ahead and start with our. Do you want to start with the polling location order, commissioners, or do you want to? Do you have anyone have a preference with what order we do these in? I suppose the polling location order that has everything listed that we painstakingly went line by line. Let's make sure that is correct first.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes-
Okay, that would make sense. All right, so everyone take a look at the polling location order. I made notes on my copy here regarding things that were changing. And so it is okay, commissioners, if I just go with what we had highlighted we had identified to add first? Or do you think, or the commissioners, do you want to go through each line again?
I mean, I don't know that it's necessary to go to each line again.
I don't either. Okay, but I wanted to be thorough and give you the option. If either of you wanted to do that, we could. But I agree. I don't think it's necessary, but I just, like I said, I wanted to make sure that we covered everything to.
I think,
All right.
I mean, I think if we just review the changes that we had suggested and make sure those have been completed, and it looks like they have. You did a great job with this, Amanda. Thank you.
Did we, the Suite 102 on the Maple Place, did we find out where that was? Because I'm having a problem opening this up. I'm having the Zoom open and having this other document open is causing problematic on my device. So.
I just want to note, I didn't make the changes, Mr. Poe did.
Oh,
Okay.
well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for making those changes.
Okay.
You're welcome, and I'd also like to thank Amanda for filling in for me yesterday.
Okay. Great. So we have 17, verifying the Suite 102. Did that get verified?
I thought, if I recall correctly, Amanda, did you not say that was a room number and wasn't necessary?
I believe so. I believe that's why it has been taken off. I think
Okay,
it's
good.
part of their mailing address.
Okay, so it's not a building number. It's a interior number inside the building. Okay, good. Okay. We've added the formerly for the Sylvan Hills. 41. Corrected the name on 54. And corrected the address to 4800 East 19th Street.
Madam Chair, if I may, I just did a quick Google of Willow House, or I'm sorry, Maple. Can we scroll back to it?
Maple Place Activity Center.
Yes, Maple Place Activity Center, and their address does not have the suite number online on Google. It's just the 2500 Willow.
Perfect. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, we've got 54. Let's see down here. Glenview with the 4800. Yes. It looks good. Looks good. 31, 31, 31. This is great.
And thank you for
Right.
putting that on each page, the legend at the bottom.
Yes. And the page numbers. Perfect.
Thank you. It's very helpful.
Okay. We have the adult center 8 was corrected.
Mhm.
First, yeah, perfect. All right. That's everything I had marked down. Okay, commissioners, anything else regarding that document? The polling location order?
Okay, like I'm gonna have to just disclose this at this point. Amanda just caught an error, and I fixed it, so I'm gonna send you a new copy of that.
Okay, what's the error?
3845 should be the Jacksonville Senior Center, not the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm gonna send you all that.
Give me a precinct number. Give me a number.
38 and 45.
Oh, 38, okay. I thought that was the address, 38 and 45. Okay.
And it looks like that is correct on the notice of election. It does say Jacksonville Senior Center on the notice of election.
It is.
Okay, great.
Thankfully, Amanda around to catch these things.
Okay. Well, is the address incorrect on 35 as well?
Yeah, I fixed it on the version I'm about to send y'all.
Okay. All right, let's wait till we get that if you're in the process of getting that sent.
Okay, so it should be on its way.
Okay.
Thank you.
We shall wait. Let's see. Okay.
I received it. Thank you.
I'm opening it up right now. Okay. And the Jacksonville Senior Center for 38, it wasn't formally named something else. It's not
No.
a change. It was
No.
just a typo on our part.
Yeah, like honestly, I don't know how that got there because we haven't used the Boys and Girls Club in years.
Okay.
Weird.
And they are on 100 Victory Circle is their correct address.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, now, is there anything else? Because it's important. This is an important thing to get right.
Madam Chair, I just Googled Jacksonville Senior Center, and yes, it is 100 Victory Circle, just to confirm.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? One last look.
One last thing. So on 131 Mills Middle School, that should say Mills High School. So once again, I'm just going to go resend it.
Okay.
Okay, can we stop for a second? Can we
Yeah.
make sure that all of these are, can we just go, we just
Let's
need to
do
go
it.
line through line and just make sure then.
Let's
we
do
don't
it.
keep-
We did it before. We can do it again.
So we don't keep making corrections and that you have to keep doing it, Brian.
Brian,
Yes.
it is Mills Middle School.
It is.
Well, yeah, but it was formerly Mills High School.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's Mills Middle School, but it was formerly Mills High
So
School.
we're adding a formerly to that.
Yes. Like the formerly should already be there, but it says Mills Middle School, formerly Mills Middle School.
Oh, I see.
Like formerly
Okay.
Mills.
I think it would be good just to do a check off of just announcing the precinct and polling location, just say correct, correct, correct. Can we just do that? Brian?
Sure.
Double check.
Okay.
I agree with Commissioner Starr. I think let's just go through it one time and make all the corrections now.
Yes. Let's do it. So, let's start with number 1.
Let's just do 1, 2, 3, Jess Odom Community Center.
1, 2, 3, and 8.
I'm just gonna go in order. So we
Oh,
don't get
that works
confused.
too. That's fine. Okay, 1, 2, 3, all Jess Odom.
Correct.
Okay. And that's, we know the address is correct.
Yes.
4, First United Methodist. Also on Edgewood, it's across the street.
Yes.
Okay. 5, Community Christian Church of Maumelle, formerly St. Nicholas Episcopal, at 404,001 Club Manor Drive.
Correct.
Okay,
Is that Brian speaking?
I think that's
Right.
Price speaking.
No, that was me. I was comparing it to the notice of election, which seems to be correct, but
Yeah.
I want Brian to confirm these, if you don't mind, Commissioner Price,
sure.
to make sure that these are
That,
correct.
that's correct. They're all correct to this point.
Okay. 6 and 7, Immaculate Heart of Mary on
Correct.
Jasnagora. Okay. 8, Jess Odom again for 8.
Yeah.
Okay. 9, Hampton Inn Maumelle, formerly at St. Nicholas Episcopal, new on Maumelle Boulevard.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. 10, Levy Baptist on Pike Avenue.
Correct.
11 and 12, Graves Memorial Baptist, 4617 Oak Grove.
Correct.
13, Sylvan Hills United Methodist Church, 9921 Sylvan Hills Highway.
Correct.
14, Levy Baptist Church again, 3501 Pike Avenue.
Correct.
15, Greater New Bible Way Church, 1217 West 22nd.
Correct.
16, North Little Rock City Hall, 300 Main Street.
Correct.
17, Maple Place Activity Center, formerly Willow House, 2500 Willow Street.
Correct.
18, Trinity Lutheran Church, 3802 North Olive.
Correct.
19, North Heights Recreation Center, 4801 Allen Street.
Correct.
20, Lakewood UMC. They don't do United Methodist. I assume that's United Methodist.
I can change that.
Well, what are they actually called? Do they
Lakewood
say
United
UMC
Methodist.
or do they
United
just fill it out?
Abbreviation. Like I tried to go in through and get all the abbreviations, but apparently I missed that one.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Good.
Good catch. Thank you.
1922 Top Road. And we'll
Right.
give you, let me know when you're ready to move on.
That's fine. I got it.
Okay. 21 Park Hill Christian Church, 4400 JFK Boulevard. 22 Levy Church of Christ, 5124 Camp Robinson Road.
Correct.
23 Shepherd of the Hills Lutheran Church, 5900 John F. Kennedy Boulevard. So JFK
So, yeah.
Boulevard or John F. Kennedy Boulevard? What are we doing?
We need to do the same.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy, spell, if it's John F. Kennedy Boulevard, it's the official name of the street. Let's spell it out.
Will do.
And commissioners, so you are not missing out on the fun. Do we just want to go every page, a different commissioner reads them out? Who wants to do page 2?
I will.
All right.
Okay. Bio Meadow Baptist.
We skipped 4. Levy Church of Christ, 5120.
Oh, okay. There's still
Go ahead.
some left.
Actually, wait a minute.
What do you mean?
Like
Oh,
There we
John F.
go.
Kennedy. Oh, you're right. I was so excited about the John F. Kennedy change that I just skipped 24 and 25. Okay, so we have the Shepherd of Hills Lutheran Church that we just that we corrected the JFK to be John F. Kennedy for everything. Okay. 24 St. Anne Parish Hall, 6150. I don't have my glasses on. Is that remount?
yes.
And 25 Northview Missionary, 6801 John F. Kennedy Boulevard. And are they Northview Missionary Church Center? Is it just Northview Missionary?
I believe Northview Missionary is all we have on our paperwork.
Okay, I mean that's fine. It's just want to make sure it's not missing something.
I just want to. I'll Google it real quick, just double check it.
It's Northview Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
Oh,
I would suggest we put the full name on there. I think we've got room.
Okay. Done.
Now, page 2.
Okay, number 26, Bayou Meadow Baptist Church on 26200 Highway 107.
Correct.
27, MacArthur Assembly of God Church at 3501 John Hardin Drive.
Correct.
28, Kellogg Valley Baptist Church at 9516 Bamboo Lane.
Correct.
Okay, 29 and 30, St. Jude the Apostle Catholic Church, formerly at Jacksonville Community Center, which is
Correct.
2403 MacArthur. 31, Sylvan Hills United Methodist Church at 9921 Sylvan Hills Highway.
Correct.
32, the Connection Church of Sherwood at 14322 Highway 107.
Correct.
33, St. Jude the Apostle Catholic Church, formerly at Jacksonville Community Center, 2403 MacArthur Drive.
Correct.
34, St. Jude the Apostle Catholic Church, again, 2403 MacArthur.
Correct.
35, St. Stephen's Episcopal Church at 2413 Northeastern Avenue.
Correct.
36, Bethel Baptist Church, formerly First Presbyterian Church. This is a new location, 112 North Jeff Davis Avenue.
Correct.
Okay, 37, First Baptist Church, 401 North First Street.
Correct.
38, Jacksonville Senior Center at 100 Victory Circle.
Correct.
39, Brockington Road Church of the Nazarene, 9860 Brockington Road.
Correct.
Number 40, Sylvan Hills Community Church, 8019 Highway 107.
Correct.
41, Sylvan Hills Community Church, formerly at First Christian Church of Sherwood, 8019 Highway 107.
Correct.
First Baptist Church of 42, First Baptist Church of Sherwood, 701 Country Club.
Correct.
Number 43, Cornerstone Bible Fellowship Church, 7351 Warden Road.
Correct.
44, Indian Head Lake Baptist Church, 8601 Indian Head Drive.
Correct.
45, Jacksonville Senior Center at 100 Victory Circle.
Correct.
46 and 47, Berea Baptist Church, 104 East Valentine Road.
Correct.
48, Harris Elementary School, 4424 Highway 161 North.
Correct.
49, Duran Youth Center, 508 Sherwood.
Correct.
50, Central Baptist Church, 5200 Fairway Avenue.
Correct.
51 will be Lakewood United Methodist Church. You're going to correct that at
Yes.
1922, Top Road? Top?
Correct.
Interesting word. Topfa. 52, Sherman Park Community Center, 624 North Beach Street.
Correct.
53, Glenview Community Center at 4800 East 19th Street.
Correct.
And number 54, Glenview Community Center again, but this was formerly at Calvary Baptist Church, 4800 East 19th Street.
Correct.
I got a question about that. With the corrections we make, if 54 still straddles the 2 pages, can we scooch it down? So we don't have it split between 2 pages. Just add a page break there before 54. Should fix it.
It's one continuous table.
We'll insert a break in it.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Number 55, All Souls Church, 4601 Walker's Corner Road.
Correct.
56, Winfield United Methodist Church at 2100 Cantrell Road.
Correct.
57, Lake Maumelle. What is VFD?
Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay, so we probably need to spell that out.
Mhm.
I didn't know what that was. 20720 Clay Street.
Correct.
58, Winfield United Methodist Church.
Correct.
59, C.A. Vines, Arkansas 4-H Center. I believe that's Center.
Yes.
Okay, Center at 4-H Way.
Correct.
60, St. Margaret's Episcopal Church, formerly at Highland Valley UMC, new 2900 Chenal Parkway.
Correct.
61, Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church at 23908 Colonel Glen Road.
Correct.
We need to spell out Colonel. 62, Crystal Hill Baptist Church. Sorry.
Okay, so I need to spell out Colonel.
Yeah, we have it spelled out elsewhere, but not there.
Okay.
62 Crystal Hill Baptist Church at 18823 Crystal Valley Road.
Okay.
63 Martindale Baptist Church at 18900 East Colonel Glen Road.
Correct.
64 Chenal Valley Baptist Church at 1800 Rawling Road.
Yes.
65 St. Michael's Episcopal Church at 12415 Cantrell Road.
Yes.
66 Grace Church at 12900 Cantrell Road.
Yes.
And that's just Grace Church by itself.
Yes.
Okay. 67 Temple B'nai Israel at 3700 North Rodney Parham Road.
Correct.
68 Chenal Valley Baptist Church, formerly at Chenal Valley Church of Christ at 1800 Rawling Road.
Correct.
69 First Baptist Little Rock, 62 Pleasant Valley Drive.
Correct.
Is that First Baptist Little Rock, or is that the name of the church?
Yes.
Okay.
It was they've changed their names a couple of times, but
That is correct, because that's my church. So I can vouch for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Brody.
70 Pleasant Valley Church of Christ, 10900 Rodney Parham Road.
correct.
71 Brady Masonic Lodge, formerly at Pulaski Academy, new at 11805 Henson Road.
Correct.
72 Pleasant Valley Church of Christ at 10900 Rodney Parham Road.
Correct.
73 Parkway Place Baptist Church at 300 Parkway Place.
Correct.
74 Asbury United Methodist Church, formerly at Agape Church, new at 1700 Napa Valley Drive.
Correct.
75 Emmanuel Baptist Church, my church, 501 Shackelford Road.
Correct.
And this is in the main church. Right, this is in the main church.
Yeah, it's in the main church.
Okay. 76 Parkway Place Baptist Church at 300 Parkway Place.
Correct.
77 also Emmanuel Baptist Church.
Correct.
78 W.W. Williams NW Patrol Division.
Northwest.
Is this what kind of location is this?
Is that like that's not like state police, is it?
That's a police substation, and that's just about 2 blocks from my house. W.W. Williams is. It's just a police neighborhood police substation.
Okay. 10001 Canis Road.
Yes.
79 Henderson United Methodist Church, 13000 West Baseline Road.
Correct.
80 Ollie E. Rooker Library, formerly at Henderson UMC, new 11 Otter Creek Court.
Correct.
81 First Missionary Baptist Church at 10300 Mapleville West.
Correct.
And is that their full name of their road, Mapleville West?
Yes.
Okay. 82 Life Baptist Church at 7601 Baseline Road.
Correct.
And is this spelled correctly?
Iglesia
83
Bautista.
Nueva Jerusalem. Is it an N at the end? 9400 Colonel Glen, and that needs to be spelled out. It is an N at the end. Okay.
It
Yes.
is.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So 85. Again, W.W. Williams. Now we have Northwest spelled out. So let's, if we haven't already made that note, spell out Northwest earlier for 78.
I already took care of it.
Okay. 86 St. Mark Baptist Church, 5722 West 12th Street.
Yes.
87 Faith United Methodist Church, 9820 West Markham.
Correct.
88 St. James United Methodist Church, 321 Pleasant Valley Drive.
Correct.
89. Whoa, I skipped a page. Okay. Unitarian Universalist Church of LR. Is that Little Rock?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and spell that out. And that's at 1818 Reservoir Road.
Yes.
90 Second Presbyterian Church at 600 Pleasant Valley Drive.
Yes.
91 Hammock Village City Hall, 2710 North McKinley.
Correct.
St. Paul United Methodist Church, 2223 Durwood Road.
Yes.
Is McKinley not a street or a road or a Drive or anything?
I don't know. Let's see what Google says.
Okay. Because we have several, like Markham, McKinley, Mississippi.
The only time that comes into an issue is if you have a street, a circle, a loop, and a road.
Well, that's,
Um,
and I want to make sure that there's not,
Yeah,
I mean,
It's McKinley Street.
yeah.
okay.
And Markham's also Markham Street.
I'm not aware of there being a different Markham besides Markham, but we might as well put the official on all those.
Yeah, there's not another Markham, but I agree.
Same with Mississippi.
Now,
think
Mississippi actually changes from street to road, block to block.
Okay. Well, let's make sure that we have the correct type of road. Is that type of roadway? I'm not sure what that classification is called.
It's a very weird road.
It is. So let's. Okay, so Kamak Village, City Hall. We've got the McKinley with the whatever you just said. I completely forgot what you just said with the McKinley Street.
Yes.
Okay. 92, St. Paul United Methodist Church, 2223 Deerwood Road. And is St. Paul ST, or do they spell it out Saint, the whole word?
They just use it. It's ST.
They use Saint, okay. And then First Church of the Nazarene for 93 and 94 on 1200 North Mississippi. And we're going to verify if that's
Street.
That's street, okay. 95, Grace Presbyterian Church, 9301 Rodney Parham Road. 96, St. Mark's Episcopal Church, 1000 North Mississippi.
Correct.
And is Mississippi a street at that point in the 1000 block?
It's a street.
Okay. Faith Lutheran Church for 97 is 7525 West Markham. And that's street, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. 98, Second Baptist Church, 1709 Barrow Road.
Correct.
99, St. Luke Methodist Church for 99 and 100, St. Luke United Methodist Church, 6401 West 32nd Street.
Yes.
101 would be Western Hills United Methodist Church, 4601 Western Hills Avenue.
Correct.
102, Moody Chapel AME Church. What's that?
That's a good question.
Maybe Methodist? Is that typical of the M?
Like you look it
It's
up in Chapel AME.
It's African Methodist Episcopal.
There you go.
But Madam Chair, that's how they have it in Google. Like I
Is that how
Googled
they have it?
it's
Okay, hey.
Moody
we wanna
Chapel
make sure their
AME.
name's correct. Okay.
But is that how they have it on the building?
I'm not sure, but that's what they're also named. Like their social media, everything. It's Moody Chapel AME.
Yes,
Okay.
that's how it is on the building. That's out
It
here
is-
by me.
Okay, it's the building that I'm most concerned with, is that
Right.
anytime they're looking for something, they can see it.
Okay. And that's 5630 Mablevale Pike.
Yes.
Okay. And it's not a road, is there a street, road, avenue?
Pike is the name.
The Pike,
Pike.
is it? Okay. I just want to make sure that's the correct one.
The Pike
we
is the
do have-
type.
103, St. Teresa's Catholic Church, 6219 Baseline Road.
Yes.
104, Temple of the Restoration, 10610 Chico Road.
Is
Yes.
that a church? Is that just the full name of it?
That's the name of it.
105 South Side Church of Christ at 9300 Geiger Springs Road.
Yes.
106 and 107 Calvary Baptist Church, formerly at Little Rock Fire Station number 10, new, and that's at 5700 Cantrell Road.
Yes.
The other thing is sometimes there's a period after the abbreviation and sometimes there's not. I would recommend we are consistent and use the period when we abbreviate road and street and avenue,
Okay.
just so we're consistent, at least in our document. So 108 Woodlawn Baptist Church, 5520 Woodlawn. And then what's the type of roadway?
The drive.
Drive.
Drive. Okay. 109 St. Peter Missionary Baptist Church, formerly at Pulaski Heights Presbyterian Church, new, 3518 West 7th Street.
Yes.
And once again, sometimes we spell out W, sometimes, or do we, or it's one, oh no, we consistently used, we did, okay, we used the W for the abbreviation and that works. Okay. Going back to, that was 112, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
109 and 112. 110 Woodlawn Baptist Church, 5520 Woodlawn Drive. Is
Correct.
that okay? I'm gonna put the drive on there. 111 Pulaski Heights United Methodist Church, 4823 Woodlawn Drive.
Correct.
12 is the same as 109. 113 West Side Baptist Church at 2715 West 7th Street.
Correct.
And 14 Historic Arkansas Museum, formerly Arkansas Arts Center, new at 200 East 3rd Street.
Correct.
Question, 113, is West Side one word or two words?
I believe it's 2 words.
2 words.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next page.
All right. Am I up?
You're up.
Okay, great. 115 St. Mark Baptist Church at
Correct.
5722 West 12th Street. Okay. It's 116 Greater Christ Temple Pentecostal Church at 1200 Lewis Street.
Correct.
117 Bullock Temple Church at 1513 Park Street.
Correct.
118 Dunbar Recreation Center, 1001 West 16th Street.
Correct.
119 Greater Archview Baptist Church, 1720 West 23rd Street.
Correct.
120 Little Rock Adult Education Center at 4800 West 26th Street.
Correct.
121 Geyer Springs United Methodist Church, 5500 Geyer Springs Road.
Correct.
122 Cooperative Extension Service at 2901 West Roosevelt Road.
Correct.
123 and 124 Metropolitan Career Center at 7701 Scott Hamilton.
Correct.
And
Is
do we
that
know
a drive, a street, with Scott Hamilton?
Drive.
Okay.
Drive.
Okay. 125 St. Teresa's Catholic Church, formerly at Baseline Academy, and that's at 6219 Baseline Road.
Correct.
126 Arch Street Fire Department, formerly at Ironton Baptist Church at 15923 Arch Street.
Correct.
127 also Arch Street Fire Department.
Correct.
128 St. John Vision Center at 2701 South Main Street.
Correct.
129 Little Rock Port Authority, formerly at Little Rock Fire Station number 4, and that's at 10600 Industrial Harbor.
Correct.
Okay. 130 Wilma J. Walker Civic Center, formerly College Station Community Center at 4200 Fraser Pike.
Correct.
131 Mills Middle School, formerly Mills High School, right? You're going to correct that.
Yeah. Emily Mills High,
At
Dixon Road.
1205 East Dixon Road. Thank you. 132 New Haven United Methodist Church at 26616 Highway 365 South.
Correct.
Okay, and then highway, if we're going to put a period behind the abbreviation, consistently do that with that one as well. Or just make it consistent, either with or without a period, but I will.
Okay, 133 Wrightsville City Hall at 13024 Highway 365.
Correct.
Is that is there a cardinal direction on that one? Because there was south on the one on Highway 365 above it.
Basically, the addresses we use are what they submitted their paperwork. So I don't
Okay.
know. I can look it up real quick.
Let's do that.
That's my hometown, and no, there is no, it is Highway 365 for Wrightsville.
That's correct. There's nothing after 365.
Okay.
Okay, 134 Nathaniel Hill Community Complex at 2500 East 6th Street.
Correct.
135 Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church at 3801 Springer Boulevard.
Correct.
136 First United Methodist Church at 1201 Edgewood Drive.
Correct.
137 Highland Valley United Methodist Church at 15524 Chenal Parkway.
Correct.
Okay, Vote Center 1, Pulaski County Regional Building at 501 West Markham Street.
Correct.
Vote Center 2, Sue Cowan Williams Library at 1800 South Chester Street.
Correct.
Vote Center 3, D Brown Library at 6325 Baseline Road.
Correct.
Vote Center 4, Roosevelt Thompson Library at 38 Rawlings Circle.
Correct.
Vote Center 5, William F. Lehman Library at 2801 Orange Street.
Correct.
Vote Center 6, Jacksonville Community Center at 5 Municipal Drive.
Correct.
Vote Center 7, Jess Odom Community Center at 1100 Edgewood Drive.
Correct.
And Vote Center 8, First Christian Church of Sherwood at 2803 Keel Avenue.
Correct.
Okay.
Vote Center 9 at Sidney S. McMath Library at 2100 John Barrow Road.
Correct.
Vote Center 10 Hillary Clinton Children's Library, new at 4800 West 10th Street.
Correct.
Vote Center 11 I don't know how to pronounce that, Gold Fletcher Library, new at 823 North Buchanan Street.
Correct.
Vote Center 12 Adolphine, I don't know, Fletcher Terry Library, new at 2015 Napa Valley Drive.
Correct.
Aren't these all
Question.
new?
Yeah,
Aren't these all
all the
new?
vote
The
centers
vote
new?
centers?
I'm sorry.
These are all
No.
new. Because they're all new vote centers.
Yeah, we haven't had them before.
We had, I thought we had Hillary Clinton and John Gould Fletcher during the primary.
These are
Not
these
a
are not
vote
polling
center.
sites. These are not polling sites. These are vote centers on election day. So my question was, this is something that's new for election day voting. So wouldn't they all be new?
I mean, you can label them that way. Basically, I label them the 3 new facilities that we had since the 2018 general election as new.
Well, they're all new as vote centers because this is the first time we've ever done it. So I get they're not a new center, location we have ever voted. But they would all new as far as that goes.
Because the top says polling locations and vote centers, and the legend says early voting site / vote center. This is designating the polling locations and vote centers, not early voting sites, correct?
I mean, they're both.
The order is for vote centers and polling locations.
And the early voting sites are also part of the order. That's why the legend indicates that these locations are both.
And that's what that was my question. In the language in the top of the order, it doesn't list early voting sites. It just lists polling locations and vote centers. So in ACA 75101.418, is it asking for the order for also early voting sites?
Okay, so I can just add polling locations, vote centers, and early voting sites.
So it is asking
Perfect.
for all 3. Correct?
I'm sorry.
The audio cut out. I don't know what you said.
It is asking for all 3.
Okay, I've added it in there.
Okay.
So what does it say now?
Pursuant to ACA, Pulaski County Board of Election Commissioners designates the following polling locations, vote centers, and early voting sites to be open for the general election to
Thank
be
you.
conducted for 2020.
Good catch.
So yeah, polling locations. Did you say you changed it to polling sites? Read
Polling-
that again.
Polling locations, vote centers, and early voting sites.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Okay. Well, with the updates with adding the street designation for the roadways and the consistency that we had addressed, anything else?
Not for me. Thank you, Brian, for humoring us and letting us go through it line by line. I think that's just the best way to make all those changes in one fell swoop and not have to, as Commissioner Starr said, not have to keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So do we need to do a motion for each, the temporary, the permanent, then the polling location order in that order?
Yeah, well, since we're doing this document, let's do this one first and then. Are you saying you want to do one motion for everything when we're done, or do you want to do, is that what your question was?
Well, the order is temporaries first, permanent second, and the polling location order is a third. So I'm asking, is that the order it's
No,
supposed
we
to
can
be?
do, yeah,
approved?
sure, the order in the agenda, that's fine. It's fine with me.
Is that the order it's supposed to be approved?
Typically, you'll approve the temporary and permanent orders before you do the overall order.
That's fine. We do the order of the agenda, that's fine. But I wanted to do that first so we caught everything. Okay. So the temporary polling location order, was there any changes on this that we wanted to make? Besides the address changes, like 501 West Markham, put the street designation there. Like for example, for precinct 29, the top one, and 30 and 33. And is it Jeff Davis? It's not Jefferson Davis?
That's what they submitted on their paperwork.
Well, what's the actual address?
Let's see, which one is this? Bethia or
For Bethel Baptist, precinct 36?
no? It's Google says 119 North Jeff Davis.
It's 119 North Davis? Because we have 112 North.
112. I'm sorry, 112 North Jeff Davis.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, 112 North Jeff Davis.
Okay,
Confirmed.
just wanna make sure that's right. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna add Markham Streets or whatever the correct designation is on those first three in a row, 29, 30, 33. And we're going to be consistent when we put periods when we abbreviate. So for example, in 71, for precinct 71, we put the period after road. And on precinct 109, we've spelled out street for 109, but I don't believe we've spelled out street for others. I think we were using ST period. Is that correct? Or did we actually spell it out earlier?
I don't believe so.
I think it was ST period. So let's be consistent with that.
Okay.
And same thing, the period after drive for the formerly on precinct 109. Same thing with 112 and the drive for the period after drive. 125, baseline road period, baseline road period. And the Port Authority, it's industrial harbor. It's not a street or a kind of roadway.
It's Industrial Harbor. Oh, I put it on the order. Let's see what we got here. Industrial Harbor Road.
Okay, put the road on there. With RD period, same thing, add the period for the formerly Little Rock Fire Station. Okay, and Commissioners, any additional changes besides those that we pointed out?
Mhm.
All right, I will entertain a motion as amended with the amendments that Brian is currently enacting.
I move to, I guess, approve the, excuse me, the temporary polling location change orders with the minor amendments that were just stated.
A second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. And that was, I voted as well. Pardon me, I was in the middle of a cough. So that was unanimous. Next would be our permanent polling location change orders. So we just had the two, was that correct? We have precinct 9 and 54. Alma Boulevard. And add the period for the abbreviations for 54 after street and drive. And then looks like everything else looks correct.
Brian, are you also updating the dates on these? Oh, you
Yeah.
did update them. You did update them. Okay.
I updated the date to October 1st on, all right. It
Okay.
should have been updated October 1st on everything.
Okay, great. So I couldn't see it. It was too small. Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion. If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the permanent polling location change orders with any minor edits if needed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. It was unanimous. So next would be the polling location order that we have painstakingly gone line by line. So I would absolutely entertain a motion incorporating all of the edits we have discussed.
Make a motion to approve the polling location order with the minor edits for the November 3rd, 2020 general election.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Motion carries. Okay. That brings us to the notice of election. You have a chance to take a look at the notice of election.
And at this point, might I ask permission for either myself or a member of the staff to be able to use y'all stamps on these orders?
Yes, you absolutely.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
still,
Thank you.
In the last, I did note in our last notice, meeting notice, Commissioner Price explicitly gave his permission to use a stamp. I don't recall, so much happened last night. I don't recall if did we physically sign Star? Did we physically sign something last week or yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No, we ended up
Um,
not.
So Betty, that still goes in effect, that you can still, you still have permission to use our stamps when we're not able to sign. And I don't think we signed yesterday. I don't think we had a form to sign yesterday. So you have permission to use our stamps in lieu of their signature. And that's still in effect for today. And yes, you can still, Commissioners, we can use our stamps for what we have just, what we're approving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's still absolutely, and you have express permission to do that. So notice of election. Take a look at that.
I would just like us to put the voter view website on here and our phone number. There's no contact information on here I can see. Or that maybe I'm not seeing it, but I can't find it.
We do have our website on there, so that's good.
Yes.
We have a Pulaski County Regional Building address. Yeah, we had a pretty good, what happened that little,
Well, we ran out of room
Word.
probably, but we could add underneath Pulaski County Regional Building, we can add our phone number. And then under additional election information at the bottom, we can add the SOS voter view website for people to go look for that information.
Mhm.
I agree, and I would like us to add our email as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, we
okay. Where would you like this added?
Under Pulaski County Regional Building with the address, we need to just and you can do it on that line. Put our phone number and then next to the phone number, the email on
Do
that
you not
bottom
want to put that?
line.
Wait a minute. Do you not want to put that under the additional election information so that's all in the same box?
Only if they're able to move that box up.
You should. I mean, there's space. What could we not move it up? There's space above that.
I don't know what kind of template they're using. If they have the ability to remove a line there, the only problem is that you have that Pulaski County Regional Building. That's our information right there. It might make it makes it kind of flow if it has our contact with it, so they know that's us. The additional election information, it's easier if you just put the Secretary of State's website there.
I agree with Commissioner Starr.
Okay. All right.
So it doesn't get confusing because
There's more space in that box anyway, so it'd be easier to add something more. That's fine.
Okay,
And,
so in the top box, add the phone number, the email. In the bottom box under additional election information, add the voter view website.
Right.
Okay.
And did we not want to have did we used to have the county clerk information on here too? Like what happened to our little template we've been using? We added extra, what happened to all that extra information that we added the last couple of elections?
probably ran out of
there's
space.
only space on the there's only so much space on the page is what it comes down to. There's nowhere to put that.
And is there no way to move those boxes, move it up? Because there's a bit of a gap.
There's exactly one line.
That's huge, that big.
Actually, let me take a look at it real quick. Hold on.
Okay. And I know there's a lot going on this piece of paper. It's
actually no, there's not a line there. It
okay,
has to do with the way the table's set up for the polling locations.
Yeah.
So we can't move into that blank,
Like if you do that, then
negative space above the boxes and along under the line that says, the permanent polling place change line.
No, it throws everything out of whack.
It's a formatting. It's a formatted table.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend messing with it. But if we just use that space there, we should be fine with the information. That's all the information they need. They can check their voter registration. They can look at their sample ballot all on that voter view site.
That's true.
And
Voter view is gonna help a myriad of issues.
They can
Okay,
also access their county clerk information from there.
that's
So,
true. Okay. Yeah, add voter view and our phone number.
everything else looks good.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have for the addresses, I would recommend we put the period after street on number 15 Greater New Bible Way Church, 1217 West 22nd Street. Is that a street? Same thing with Olive, all the way down. That needs to be consistent with all the changes that we just made. We don't need to rehash every single change we just went through, but that needs to be consistent. And
Madam Chair, I don't think you can do that on this table because this is space limited.
no, you can't put a period after.
the other changes you're suggesting, this is space limited. So there's only spaces in between. If you, even if on some of these, on the street addresses, you could probably add a period, but on anything else, on those other lines, on the polling location names, if you move anything, it's going to knock it
No,
down.
no, I'm not talking about the names. I'm talking about the addresses. Like I'm looking at it and I've got this. There's inconsistencies between the when we use a period and when we don't.
You should be able to add a period, but you won't be able to spell out any of those north or avenue or kernel or anything like that without knocking it to the next line for
Okay.
formatting reasons. I can just tell by that setup of that table.
But I can on 1217 with 22nd on the Greater New Bible Way Church number 15. You should, since above it and below have several characters longer, you should be able to add the street, the ST period.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And for example, 300 Main Street, there's no period there. 22nd Avenue, West 22nd, there's no Way Avenue Street, and then it's Pike Avenue period. I'm saying can make that consistent.
We do just need to move that 102 next to the Willow Street
Yep.
on 17, Brian.
Remove the 102 on Willow Street.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I can probably, I can take care of that.
Because if you can write, we have space to write out John F. Kennedy Boulevard, so we should be able to fix street and drive and lane and avenue.
Okay, so
All these, all the way up and down the list.
basically spelled out if it can be spelled out.
Correct. And then be consistent, like you have 52, 53, 54. You've got street period, beach street period, 19th ST nothing, 19th ST nothing. So just be consistent. If you abbreviate, put the period in, and if you can spell it out, as long as it doesn't mess up the formatting, spell it out as much as you possibly can. Like CH for church would be fine, because obviously it's gonna, if you spell out church, it's gonna push it over to the next column. And this would be one of those where UMC might be, we have to do it because United Methodist Church takes a lot of space, right? So it would make sense to use those abbreviations here.
Right. Yeah, because like Highland Valley, 137, Highland Valley UMC, if you spell that out, that's not going to fit.
Yeah.
Because Highland Valley is already fairly long.
But just like, for example, number 5, is that Community Christian Church? Christian Church of Maumelle. Great. You made it as long, you spelled out as much as you could and abbreviated so it fit. Do that for everything, all the way down.
Okay.
If you can spell it out, have it spelled out. If not, just do it as best you can. And how the number 5 is for on the Community Christian Church of Maumelle. Perfect. That's a perfect example of abbreviating what we have to due to space.
Okay. Will do.
Okay. So besides those minor consistent changes to fix the consistency on here, commissioners, do we see anything else? And Brian, we need to make sure that our polling location, our precincts, the location name and address match what we just went through. And I think the notice of election was, when we looked at it earlier, was more correct than the polling location order, if I recall, from the ones we looked at. But we need to make sure that that's absolutely, that matches.
Okay.
Since we just made several changes going line by line of polling location order, we need to make sure that matches perfectly.
I just have a question on this of the piece on the candidates. Is there supposed to be a comma on Just of the Peace District 13 after Just of the Peace?
Let's see. Let me pull it. I don't have that page up. Give me just a moment to pull it up.
Are you on page 4, Commissioner Starr?
This
The
was
last page?
Page 4. No, wait, yes.
on which one?
On Just the Peace 13, is it supposed to have a comma between peace and Phil?
Yes, that's how
Okay.
he filed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just couldn't remember that. Under the federal candidates, there seems to be something weird with the size of the lettering
Yeah,
between
Kanye is way bigger than Rocky.
yeah, and Don Blankenship. There, that line, it seems like it's smaller in between that.
Let me see if I can find the file.
I just want to make sure that that person's name isn't smaller. And it looks like it's might be like a 11 versus a 12.
Yeah, Mr. De La Fuente, his line.
looks-
I'm sorry. Sean said he made that a font size smaller due to the fact it would knock everything offline. It would go to another line.
But I don't think that, I think that's inappropriate.
That's
why
absolutely
not?
appropriate. We're gonna have to make the spacing between column 1 and column 2 smaller. It's gonna have to be tighter.
I mean, you don't want to have one person's name, you know.
No, that's not okay at all.
Could you not on the school district candidates?
Scooch them over.
Does it?
Yeah.
Could district be school district be abbreviated as district DIST period candidates to prevent it being on 2 lines? Thank you. I just don't want us making someone's name smaller.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not cool.
And I understand why he did it. I just don't want us doing that.
Mm-mm.
There's another way we can get that line. Is there possibly is there some spacing between? It seems like there's a little bit more spacing. Hold on. No, it's the same.
Okay, I finally got like what are we talking about? Rocky De La Fuente.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can't have one candidate a smaller font than every other candidate. That's a no-no.
yeah.
So here's some options. We can, on the margin on the side, which I don't know how close we can get to the edge, but could we have that first margin line up with where the edge of the line is, so the F and federal be lined up with the edge of that top line? Or can we, if we scooch that whole column over a little bit?
I don't think the column's going to move.
I think we're gonna have to just what's the size of the headers? It
The
looks
header-
larger.
The size of the header is Arial narrow, or it's 8 on the headers.
Okay, and so what's the size of the names?
So, all of them are 8 except for that one, which is a 7.
What, can't we scooch that middle column that has the name of the candidates just a little bit closer? Just make it a tiny smidge over to the left?
Let's see what happens there. If I can find it.
There's space between the candidate list, Pulaski County, and the table, and there's a probably an after space of like maybe 6. Maybe if you change that to like 0.3, like 3, they'll give some room.
I'm not like anytime I try to move something, it's not great. I'll just leave that.
What file format is this notice of election in?
Word.
Oh, you should be able to fix it.
So if you highlight candidate list Pulaski County, click on
Okay.
click on paragraph.
I think I got it.
You got it? Okay.
I think so. Let's see what it does. It still pushes it to a different line.
Okay.
It throws it like way out of whack.
Why can't we move the column for the tab? You just drag it over a tiny bit. So they can't like where the candidates, so like where the candidates are.
Move 2 of the school district candidates over to the next column, to the right hand of the side of the page. Right now it starts with Chris Kingsby. And if you look, there's less candidates on the right hand side of the page versus the left hand side of the page. If we move 2 of those, or 1 to the right hand side, we can put that font back, that size back to 8 for that candidate.
I think I got it. Let me check. No, never mind. And when I move that column, it pushes everything on the right side off the page.
Just move that tab.
Not move the column, those 2 rows.
Yeah.
Take the last row, Little Rock
Star and
Schools.
I were talking about different things.
We're
Start
talking
saying
about 2 different things.
Yeah, I'm saying move over so Rocky De La Fuente, Darcy C. Richardson is all on one line. Abandon that for the moment. Make it even with the right and left side of the page being even. So take Stuart S. Mackey and Allie Noland and put them on the right-hand side of that line.
Okay, just give me a moment because that's in a table. So I have to insert some lines or insert some rows.
Do rows, and then
when I insert rows, it inserts rows across the board. So then it comes up high, like, and then when I try to remove it on the left side, let's see. Okay, I think I can at least move that over, maybe.
I'd recommend you don't do that. You don't use that kind of format that's so limiting. You could just do tab stops and you could have them all line up that way. But okay.
Well, no matter what, let's just make sure that we get that changed. So
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take a while.
So don't insert a whole row across. Just insert that a row in that one column. Because if you're using Word, it's going to give you that option. You can insert a row in that one column, not insert a row all the way across. And it would move. So it would move that Little Rock School District Zone 6. It would move that whole first column would move down. And when you add that on either one of those columns, that should fix itself and would not do anything to the side where the federal candidates are.
So we trust you're going to get it done, but just make sure that we just get that back up to the 8 so that we have all the candidates with the exact same size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we don't have to go through the painstaking process of figuring out exactly how that's going to be done. But if it's in Word, you can absolutely do it. And it may, if you set it up like a table, that may be really tedious for you to have to go on each one. But that's the way. That's the way you set it up, you're going to have to just deal with it. But you should be you will be able to adjust that to fit the De La Fuente. Make sure that the font size is exactly the same, and then even out so we don't have one side that has more than the other. So I think if you move one, I think if we move two, because it looks like it's longer by 4. So if you move Stuart S. Mackey and Allie Noland to the right side of the page, that should even out that. And then you're gonna have to just play with and tinker with the columns to fit it. So De La Fuente is not disadvantaged for being a smaller size than every other listed candidate.
Gotcha. We'll take care of it
Thank you.
one way or the other.
We'll work it out. And hopefully you don't have to restart with no format, and because that sounds like that's a horrible, painful process. But if you have to, you have to. Whatever it will take, I have faith you can figure it out. Especially if it's in Word. Word will absolutely fix it. And then the school district candidates, make sure school district and candidates are on one line, not 2. And if we have to do dist instead of district, I'm sure that that's fine if necessary. But we most likely won't need to. And if there's a table just for the school district candidates, you could merge those 2 cells where the school district candidates are, since there's nothing across, there's no actual candidate listed for that title. If that helps for giving you more space without having to change that format, since you have it already set up like a table instead of using a different format, that may be useful information. Okay, so besides those changes, any additional on this page 4 or the rest of the notice of election?
I have nothing.
Okay. And we have double checked and triple checked that the millage exactly matches what we already went through word by word, and that the ballot measures are the correct final word from SOS, and it matches what we have already gone through word for word. Correct? I didn't see anything that didn't match up that I could see, but I just want to make sure.
I have no corrections.
Okay. Okay, well.
I would like to make a motion to approve the notice of election with the minor grammatical and punctuation consistency corrections that we mentioned, as well as making sure that Mr. De La Fuente / Darcy Richardson's section on the ballot, that the names are of the same font size as the other candidates, and Brian will take care of that and format that in a way so that everything is consistent.
Or his designee. I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so that was our big business for the evening. The other thing that we decided to have for the agenda, I don't think it made it to the printed agenda. However, we did say we're going to do it in this meeting today, so let's do it. We're going to set meetings for the near future. One of the things we asked all the commissioners yesterday was to get your calendars ready and to think about when we want to set these meetings that we need to have.
Chair Gomez, I have a question.
Yes.
Something flew across our email that affects that and affects everything else that we're doing.
What are we looking at?
An extended order to keep all the county buildings closed through the election.
Yes, I see Brian at 4:15 today sent an email to us, which I'm not going to fault Brian for sending it at 4:15 since it looks like he got it at 3:52. So I don't see that he waited on it, sending it to us. Okay, I see there's an executive COVID order.
Brian, could you give us some information on how that affects our business processes in this election?
It basically just extends the order that we've had in place since like July.
So we can't have more than 10 people. So we can't have more than 10 people like in line waiting to vote and voting. That's a problem.
No, it doesn't apply to that because that's a core function.
So conducting commission meetings is a core function. I guess my concern is that when we have commission meetings going forward, that directly involves the public and processes, those are core functions. So I guess I'm very concerned about the county buildings being closed during an election. How does that affect poll watchers? How is that going to affect the canvassing process? How does that affect the media? Have you had talked to anybody about all of our processes that's going on during this election?
Yes.
What did you hear back?
It's as far as the voting, the absentee, and the both with absentee and with early voting. I mean, we're not going to allow 100 people into the building at the time to vote. We're only going to allow in as many people, in accordance with our policy that we can allow that we can keep socially distant. So it's not 10, but it's not normal. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have, the process is going to continue on, but all the precautions are going to be implemented.
It doesn't really answer my question.
I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time?
It doesn't really answer my question.
As far as the meetings go?
As far as, this is a federal election. So there are things that supersede a county judge's executive order. For one, the governor's executive order. Two, the federal government's federal elections and the law that goes that way, no matter if it's a county building or not. We chose to have this is a vote center. I discussed this pretty heavily last night because that was my concern. Is that something was going to happen and they're going to shut the county buildings down during this election? So not only are we having, early voting going on, we're going to have it as a vote center on election day. And then we're going to have canvassing of the absentee ballots going on election day. There is going to be 30,000 absentees, most likely, that's going to have to be canvassed on that day. That's going to require a lot of people. And there's going to be people that will be allowed, not may be allowed, but they will be allowed in that room to watch that process. So, and the governor and everyone else has been very clear about that. So how is that going to be observed, all those rights and the law, if there's an executive order saying people can't be in the building if they exceed this number of folks, and we don't have another place to put them? And then we also have to be there, so, and the public and the media. So I guess that's my concern, is how are we going to do all this with this executive order being extended?
Okay. Now let me see if I can find the language in the order.
Brian, I think you're referring to maybe on the bottom of page 2, where it says only if such digitally conducted business is impossible or infeasible should it be conducted in person. And then on page 3, There shall be no congregations of people in county facilities unless necessary to conduct essential functions. Is that the section you were referring to earlier when you talked about essential functions?
Yes.
Okay, well, elections are absolutely essential functions.
Absolutely.
Basically, anything where there's no alternative to it is exempt.
Okay, so we're exempt. Great. Okay.
But there was also a statement saying that we're going to limit how many people is in the room, and we haven't made that decision. The staff is not making that decision on behalf of the Pulaski County Election Commission.
No,
I just
no,
want to make sure that's very clear.
it's part of our COVID-19 mitigation. I was talking about for the early voting polls, early voting vote centers.
I want to make sure that that's clear, that we are not making a determination saying that we're limiting people from coming in based on this order. So if we're trying to observe social distancing, we're trying to maintain a certain space, but when we have the early vote site designated as a vote center election day, it's going to be very difficult to do all those things. It's almost going to be impossible, actually, to observe what we put in place for our mitigation plan. I mean, if you think about it, it's literally impossible. So while we're going to try our best to do all those things, and we want to do all those things, having the vote center, having the election commission, that building as election day polling site, and as the absentee canvassing site, and as the where we're going through with the election commission on election night, all those things happening, and everything else coming in from the election judges, all the equipment was happening, that it's just not going to be feasible. So make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
And our commission meetings are essential when it involves the election.
Period.
And going forward, especially after last night, I mean, it was apparent that we need to be in person, unfortunately, to look over documentation and paperwork to see things so that we're not missing anything. And much as I don't want to have to be in person, unfortunately, because we just have so much that we're trying to do right now. It's just impossible to try to do this stuff virtually.
So we will be in person from now on.
Now, if it's something like this where we were able to, it was something, that we could come back and we'd already reviewed everything and we can
But this was only necessary because we were not in person and weren't able to make the changes yesterday.
Right. I just want to make it clear, and no disrespect to the county judge, but the county judge does not dictate what is essential for the election commission for our business. We are dictated by what the law requires, and we're not doing anything outside of what we have to do. We're trying to do everything that we need to do for this election, making sure that we're doing what we're doing in also a transparent manner, and that the media has access as well. So I just want to make sure that we're doing those things, and that I was very surprised to see that come across. Also, because I don't want people to get confused and think that they can't come vote. I do not want to see people to see that county buildings are still closed and think, oh, I can't go early vote downtown.
Because you can.
So that's kind of concerning too. So I just make sure our message is clear, is that no, you can come early vote. Yeah, it may be closed, but it's not closed to you.
We're welcoming all of Pulaski County, any registered voter, qualified elector that wants to vote in person is welcome and encouraged to vote in person if that is your desire to do. So it will be safe and open and available to you. And Mr. Barry Hyde cannot stop you from voting. If you're concerned about this executive order, it is not a barrier to voting.
Well, I also don't want them to think that they can't drop off their absentee ballots at the clerk's office. That's another issue. I know there's a lot of fear of the post office, and that's been a huge discussion, or the timeliness of mail. I mean, mail's always been a time issue since as long as I can remember. I don't want people to get worried about stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that people know that they can go to the county clerk's office and they can drop off their absentee. They can come and early vote. That this does not affect anything like that. And I want to make sure that we also put that information out on our Facebook and Twitter, that despite this executive order from the county saying that county businesses are closed, this is essential, and that they can come vote. They can drop off their absentee at the county clerk's office. And we're open for business. And I'm not in any way getting on to you, Brian. I just want to make sure that our communication is very open, and that it's very clear that what our intent as the commission is.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody said that you couldn't come vote here.
That's not what I'm saying. There's
No, not
you
at
gotta
all.
understand how quickly and how confusing it can be for voters when they think something's closed. I mean, even at the state level, there are certain buildings that are not open physically to the public, and their confusion can happen where people think that service is not available to them. So we do not want any confusion for any voters when they see that the county buildings are closed and they think that means that they cannot vote downtown this year, and they cannot drop off an absentee ballot at the clerk's office. So, and they have to use the mail, or that discourages them from voting absentee. So or that they think that they have to bring an absentee ballot to a polling site, which has been the talk, because there's confusion there, which is a big no-no. So I just want to make sure that we're very, very careful in how we put that information out, to make sure that people know that yes, the county buildings are closed, but no, we are not. You will be able to early vote downtown. You will vote on election day downtown. You can drop off your absentee. And luckily, the clerk has been very good about going out and putting out that information about how to get the absentee ballots back to her. But I just want to make sure that we're also pushing out that information now that there is an order that is closing the county buildings during an election. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Starr, you said everything that I wanted to say, so I'm going to just co-sign with everything you just said, that we are open. Voters can come and vote. Registered qualified electors or, who want to vote can come vote. And there's no impediment to that, regardless of what our county executive has mandated for other county buildings, and as well as this building. But as far as voting, it's essential, and there's no way is it limited, and there's no impediment to the voters coming to vote. So please come vote.
Brian, thank you both for your comments. And I agree. Brian, we know that that voting is obviously an essential function and is, something that has to be done in person. Could you possibly reach out to the judge's office and just get some clarification as to any type of special protocols that need to be in place as far as for voting? Just again, let's be as transparent as possible. And we don't want the public to think that, again, like that these buildings are closed, but just reassure them that these buildings are open during voting, and that we will be following social distancing. Any type of clarification you can get from the judge's office, I think, would clear up any misinformation that may come from from someone of the public reading this order.
Thank you, Commissioner Price.
That's a good idea. I agree as well. Go ahead and do that, Brian, and let us know as soon as you get a response.
Okay, the dates.
Yeah, let's look at and if I recall, let's see, Brian sent several emails, and oh, he sent another email about election monitors. What is this?
I sent a memo to the state board informing them that we were going to request, or that y'all had voted to request an election monitor.
Mm-hmm.
They sent me a response.
Okay. Looks like they sent the response earlier today, but you didn't get it to us until late this afternoon. But okay. Let's see. Thank you for submission.
It looks like it's just a form that needs to be filled out and returned.
Yeah, fill that out and include.
That's a sworn statement.
Will include the election law
And
violation.
I will not be completing a sworn statement on that.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm reading the email now.
This goes to why we have to be in person.
Yep. Is there a specific time frame for, I don't know off the top of my head, for the request of election monitors? They need to be done by X number of days before an election?
It's in the rule that's attached.
What does it say?
Rules for appointment, which is, since you sent it to us so late, not giving us enough time to properly review before the meeting, what is it, Mr. Poe?
I haven't had a chance to look over it for myself. I've been doing quite a few things today.
Mm-hmm.
You sound skeptical. I don't believe that's warranted.
All
Mr. Poe, I didn't ask for your opinion. I just said, move on. What is the date? I've not asked for your commentary, sir.
Well, I volunteered it, but thank you.
It's not necessary.
Well, I mean, if you make a comment,
Mr. Poe, I've asked a question. Please answer it.
let's see. It looks like it says all requests for monitors. Oh, wait, actually, what does it say? Like I said, I have not looked this over, so I'm just kind of going through it.
Within 7 calendar days of the beginning date for early voting or election day. Within 7 days will be processed only if exceptional circumstances are shown. Must be in writing and under.
Do they need this by the 12th, or is it 7 business days, or is it 7 days?
It says calendar days.
So they need this by the 7th or by the 12th, I mean.
October 12th.
And the sworn statement, is that coming from the chair, or is it coming from the board? Ron, is that sworn statement from the chair, or is it from the board?
Like, I'm looking it over right now.
Okay. I don't see I don't have a response from I only see the memo to them. I don't see a response from them.
Like it looks like it looks like I mean the way the form reads, it looks like it's an individual.
Okay.
Right, it's from anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from anybody. It seems
It can be from the board.
it's a signature of requester.
Okay. Is that attached to the director of the SBC's email?
Yes.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. I have it on dark mode. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that was his response.
Okay. Okay, Madam Chair, did you want to submit this, or?
I can submit it.
Okay. So we can get that in as soon as possible.
Yeah. What, Mr. Poe, when was it that we asked you to get this to for election monitor? What meeting was that we requested that we wanted this?
That was on August 28th.
Okay.
I
And
called
you-
the state board and asked them when it needed to be submitted by, and they said by October. So I submitted it by then.
Hey, Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I like to make a motion that all documents that are relevant to the meetings are posted in time of the meeting so that they can be attached to the agenda so that they can be on Zoom and the public can see them. Because we had that issue last night too with a letter. We just want to make sure that we're being really transparent.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
In an in-person meeting, that the public would have access to those documents. So thank you for that, Commissioner Starr.
I just want to make sure that we're not, it just looks like we're hiding stuff and I don't like that. And I know we're not, it's just that we're discussing things that people cannot look at.
Okay, commissioners, do you want me to go through this form with you after I fill it out, or do we just fill it out and send it to the board?
And while I'm at it, we need to make sure we're attaching these when we have addendums or we have additions. We need to attach those documents with our minutes when they're approved and posted.
Absolutely. We need a complete picture of what happened at the meeting and what we looked at. I agree. So this email, everything that we're discussing.
Things like that, like when we had the letter from the clerk last night, when we have a memorandum that's been sent out, a press release or something like that, those need to be attached so that that's available for the public. I mean, don't you agree, Commissioner Price?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Yep, 100% agreement as well.
thank you. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Madam Chair. What was the?
No, I know. So my question to the commissioners was, do you want me to? Are we gonna have a meeting before the 12th?
I don't think so. Or was that one of the dates?
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm pulling up the dates. Mr. Poe did send his suggested meeting. Hold on one second. He sent it a while ago. When did you send that? You said there's several emails, and one of the emails you list, Mr. Poe, you listed possible dates for the upcoming meetings. Here it is.
What day was that? What day is that, Madam Chair?
It was Tuesday.
The 20.
Whatever Tuesday was. 29th.
29th. Okay. 29th.
So it looks like the first date would be the certifying LNA and appointment of poll workers. And that's the October 12th would be the deadline for LNA testing and poll worker appointment.
Okay.
I did request that the commissioners be sent the tentative list of our poll workers. I know we're still training, but I didn't see that sent out.
Madam Chair, I would like to request, I'd like to make a motion.
Mhm.
I make a motion to have a list of the workers who are on the canvassing of the absentee ballots.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. Could you repeat that?
I'm making a motion to have a list of the names of the workers who are canvassing the absentee ballots.
I second that. But I do have a question. Brian, does Brian, you normally do provide that, does he not?
Yes.
Provide, yes.
Okay, well then, yeah, absolutely. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And while you're doing that, go ahead and send a list of our whole list of our poll workers who is trained and currently training. I know we're still getting that finished up. And the tentative schedule or the tentative slot, assignment, I guess would be the word, for all the polling locations. So the commission can review that. Since it's the commissioners who actually appoint the poll workers. And we need all the information so we can get that done. The deadline is the 12th, which means we need to have that information now so we can start getting that together and reviewing that and make any changes as necessary.
Madam Chair, might I inquire as to what you did with the previous list?
I still have the list. Do we not have more poll workers that are give me this updated list?
And I will continue to send you updated lists whenever I get the opportunity.
Okay, I'm asking you to send us an updated list, Mr. Poe.
And I will when I get the opportunity. I mean, this is not the only thing I'm doing right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to send you a list for the last week, but I just haven't had a chance to.
I don't think I've received a list of the poll workers.
Because I haven't had a chance to send it to you.
Well,
There
have
are
a
lots, there are
Make
lots
a
of
chance,
other
Mr.
issues
Pearl.
I have to handle.
I understand, but we do need that list at least a week out before the October 12th meeting so that we have time to review. And because there's so many new people, we really need to be able to look at that list before we review.
We need it no later than October 5th.
I will endeavor to provide it to you as soon as I'm able.
We need it no later than October 5th.
So noted.
I'm happy to entertain a motion from a commissioner with that specification in there.
I'll make a motion. I thought I just did this, but I'll make a motion to receive the full list of the poll workers. And this would include the absentee workers by close of business on October 5th so that we have time to review those before the October 12th deadline for appointing all workers.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, we are not to add any more poll workers after October 5th.
No, we need a list on October 5th of everyone we have. If we add after October 5th, every time we add, give us a daily update.
If it was standing that we weren't adding any more poll workers as it is.
I'm sorry.
We already got our
Telling
list.
people we weren't adding any more. I've had several requests, and the last thing I was told is that we weren't adding anybody else.
No, we're still, I mean, we're still filling out polling locations. Like this is a months-long process that continues basically up till election day whenever we have dropouts.
But our
We
list of-
need a week's time. We have to appoint them on the 12th. We need a week. That
And
gives us-
I can provide you with what we have on the 5th.
When do we finish doing training?
Honestly, we're probably going to be continue training through early voting.
Okay. But even people who are not trained yet, we still have their name on a list of our poll workers, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So even if they haven't finished training, they should still be on the list that you're providing on the 5th. Okay, so I don't see a problem here. And since this is a tentative, not a final list on the bid, as far as assignments, of course, there will be some moving around, and the commissioners will have the final say as to what the assignments are. So I'm sure there will be some moving around. Okay, great. So October 12th, that is our deadline for the appointment of poll workers. Do we want to meet on the 12th? On the actual deadline, or do we want to have a cushion and meet before then? Commissioners, what do you say?
Was there a motion on the table still?
There was a motion, and I will amend it to say the tentative list, considering that could change.
Okay, do you have a
Okay.
second?
So the motion is that we will receive a list by the 5th of the current kind of tentative list of poll
Okay.
workers,
So we can review.
including absentee. Is that correct?
Yes. yes.
Okay, I second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, so actually the certifying LNA and the appointment of poll workers, which would make sense to do in the same meeting, so we're not having extra meetings. October 12th is the deadline for appointment of poll workers.
I'm fine with it being on the 12th because I want to make sure there's plenty of time for that to be, for everything to be
12th?
done.
The 12th is Columbus Day.
Yeah, but it's not nothing is closed on that day.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's not.
I mean, county buildings are closed anyway, so we can meet. But
Oh, that's true. Okay, you're right.
we can meet on that day.
We absolutely can. Okay.
But I would need to meet in person. It would have to be at 5:30 on that day because I have a later work day that day.
Okay, 5:30 on the 12th. Commissioner Price, how does that work for you?
That's fine with me.
Okay. And obviously November 3rd. We already are going to meet obviously on that day. So November 3rd, and we talked last night about using the Jeffrey Hawkins room and starting at 9 with our public meeting in there at 9, as you know, clearing that out.
Yeah.
So 9 o'clock, does that still work for everybody on election night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So 9 p.m. for November 3rd. And the provisional ballots, looks like the staff recommendation was November 9th. That's the Monday after the election for the provisional ballot. That was the review of provisional ballots. Okay. Yes, Mr. Poe?
I was gonna say, that's basically to give the clerk time to work through it. That's what they've requested in the past several general elections, is the Monday after.
Do they need a little bit more considering how many absentee ballots we're going to have?
Well, it's kind of a balancing act, because if you push it back too late, then you can't get the notices out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. It's a day after my birthday, but yeah, that sounds good.
Happy birthday. The election's going to be going on, so I'm going to have a lot of other things to think about. But if I don't tell you then, I'm telling you now. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I can do 5 p.m. that day. Can you,
On that Monday?
Mr. Price?
Okay, so that's the prelim.
Is this 5 o'clock? Is this in person? I guess it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For the yeah.
I wouldn't be able to until 5:30. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I can move to 5:30.
5:30 works for me. That's a preliminary provisional ballots. Okay. The provisional ballot hearing / certifying of official results / runoff as needed. Knock on wood for runoffs.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the
Friday
13th.
the 13th. Let's do it. Why not? What could go wrong? Okay,
Can we do 5 p.m.?
I can. Little sweet spot to get that in to meet all the statutory deadlines. So we have just put that on the tentative list. Tentatively for the 11th with the possibility of the 14th. You may change it to the 14th as needed. Okay, is that all of our that cover all of our big stuff in the next couple months that we have right now. Is there anything?
Like 75701 looks like we have 15 days on that.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and just put it to the 14th? Monday the 14th is fine with me.
That sounds great.
5 p.m. or 5:30?
5 is fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Run off. Okay. Anything else? Mr. Poe, can you think of anything else? Any other election related mandatory meetings that we would need that we have not covered?
I think that pretty much covers everything.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so those were the two agenda items that we had set yesterday that we were gonna take care of. I was hoping for this meeting to be really quick. Apparently, I have been let down with those hopes. Those hopes have been dashed. However, we have very essential, necessary business, and it takes as long as it takes. And I'm happy to be here to make sure this is done correctly. Okay, we did get a flurry of emails this afternoon. Documents for the meeting, commission meeting. What have I missed anything regarding what Mr. Post sent us late this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Is that everything? I will note we were given these Pulaski County COVID protocol, and we've been asked to return those. I'm not an employee, so I'm not planning to sign this. I don't work for the county, and as the chair, there's nobody higher than I am, so
Madam Chair,
I'm not going to sign. I'm not planning on signing this.
okay, but Madam Chair,
Yes,
technically you are on the county payroll.
but not an
Because-
employee.
Yes, as a part-time employee. Because you receive a paycheck from Pulaski County.
I believe it's a reimbursed stipend. Well, I'm not signing this today. At least today, it will not be signed. We can revisit this later, but as of this meeting, I have not signed it yet. Today, I have not signed it.
Okay, I will check with HR again tomorrow. I did ask them whether or not the part-time people needed to sign it.
We're
And I
not
was
part-time.
told yes.
We're not part-time. We're
I
not
will,
employees of the county. But
I
go ahead.
will-
If you could seek that clarification, Betty, I appreciate it. Let me know what they say. And Betty, and I appreciate you because listen, you're just giving this information and you passed it on, and I absolutely appreciate you 100%. But today, I have not signed it today, and I'm not at this moment not planning to because I'm not an employee. But we can absolutely seek some clarification for the county commissioners because we're not county employees and find out how we fit in there. I appreciate that, Betty. You can let us know you can just have that ready by the next scheduled meeting. So you don't have to rush and do that like today or tomorrow, just by our next meeting, which will be the 12th.
okay, I will send you all an email and let you know what I find out.
Sweet.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Okay, commissioners, for the good of the board of the commission, do we have anything else? I think that finished all the business I was aware of. Commissioner Starr, do you have anything further?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Price, anything further?
Nothing from me.
Okay. Public comment. Did we receive any public comment, Mr. Poe?
Negative.
Okay. Commissioners, did you receive any public comment between last night that we
No.
didn't already discuss and today? Okay.
I did not.
I didn't either. Well, at this time, we will be adjourned. Our next meeting is what did I just say? The 12th, correct? November, we were in October 12th. we will have LNA and poll worker appointment, and it's gonna be 5:30 p.m. And it'll be an in-person meeting. Either early voting hasn't started yet, so either in the Jeffrey Hawkins room or I suppose wherever we're not doing poll worker training that day is where we're going to meet. So the exact location will be, I guess, to be determined. The room we were in previous at our meeting yesterday, I think would be sufficient for the public to attend, as in the media, etc. But we'll work that out as far as what space is available that's not already being used by our poll worker training, which is absolutely paramount for space. That and we will just fit in where we can. 5:30 p.m. on the 12th. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.